As you probably already know, I'm an interior design student, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch this video up here. But basically, I am back to school, and it's been a very good experience. So I wanted to share with you how it's been for me to go back to interior design school. A lot of you guys are always asking me, what is interior design school like? What courses am I taking? What am I learning? And so basically in this video, I'm going to share with you my experience, and I also want to share with you some tips and some do's and don'ts, because we all know that university is not easy at all, and interior design school is no different than that. So if you're interested to know, keep watching. So I study at the British Columbia Institute of Technology in Vancouver, Canada. And the architecture and design students, we have a dedicated building for us. And although that seems pretty cool, the building is pretty ugly and crappy, and it's just the worst building in the whole university. They're gonna tear it down. One of my teachers told me that it's gonna be gone very soon. But anyway, we still have a building that's only for us, and we have all the equipment that we need for our program. So that's pretty cool. So my program is focused on commercial interior design. I had already studied residential interior design in the past, but this time I am studying commercial interior design. This program is more condensed than the residential program, but it's also a lot of fun. So I am currently taking 8 courses. So I come to school from 8 to 5 p.m. Every single day from Monday to Friday. And I want to talk to you a little bit about my courses, because this is something that a lot of you guys have been asking. So the first course that I'm taking is Commercial Design Studio A, and this is by far my favorite course in the whole program. Basically, we are learning how to go from concept to final design for commercial applications. I can actually make a video showing you the process of how we go from concept to completion. That would be actually very cool. Let me know down in the comments. But anyway, this class is so much fun. Right now we are designing a clothing store, and that project is due next week. Oh my god, I'm stressing out now. But anyway, we have to submit a mood board, a concept board, an inspiration precedent board, material board, and we also have to show an axonometric view of the shop that we are designing, and we have to show perspective drawings, and what else? I think that's it. So yeah, that is pretty cool. I will show you guys my process. Probably in Instagram I can show you, or maybe I'll make a video on it. Let me know down in the comments. So the second class that I'm taking is commercial construction drawings. So this class is actually one of the most important classes in the interior design program, because we are learning how to create a set of construction drawings. So all of this documentation, you will need it when you apply for a building permit. I don't know if you knew this, but if you are an interior designer or an architect and you want to work on a project, either a renovation or a new build, you gotta apply for a building permit with the city. So we are learning how to do that application, and it is a lot of work, but for sure it's something that you need to know because it's part of our job. Another course that I'm taking is Sketchup. So this course that I'm taking is a advanced course because I took the beginner years back, but we are learning how to do renderings, and we are using Enscape. I have only worked with V-Ray and Podium, so these are like rendering extensions, but I've never worked with Enscape, so I really want to share with you and show you and teach you all these things once I learn them. It's just that right now I'm just going crazy with school, but definitely stick around and watch my videos, because I will be posting some really good content soon. Now, I'm also taking 2 classes that are electives, so they are not related to interior design. So one of them is Modern World History, and the other one is Communication. Communication, we are learning how to do like formal communication, like by email and I think this is something that we all need to do regardless what career you study. And the history class is just so interesting. I just love it. Okay, so the next course on my list, I'm getting tired. The next course on my list is materials and specifications. This course is, oh my God, I love it, but it's just so much information. We are learning about a lot of interior design materials and architectural materials. I don't know how to say that. All their properties and their specifications. It's very technical, but it's super interesting. And the main focus of this program is to raise awareness of the importance of choosing the right materials and also choosing sustainable materials, because the construction industry accounts for a big percentage. I think it's almost 40% of waste in the world. So it's pretty damn bad. So anyway, this course is super interesting. I'm making a video on interior design materials very soon, hopefully, so stay tuned for that. And last but not least, I'm taking a course on joinery. This is like carpentry, so we're actually building stuff with wood, and we're like learning how to build millwork. We're actually building the millwork. I actually have that class like in an hour. It's 10 a.m. That's at 11. So anyway, so now guys, I want to share with you some tips and some things that I have been doing different from the first time that I studied interior design versus now. And I hope that these tips can help you if you are a student or if you are wanting to pursue interior design studies, because they are pretty important in my opinion. So the first thing that I'm doing is that I'm taking my projects pretty seriously. In the past, when I was studying in the past, I remember that I had so many deadlines and I was just rushing all the time, and then sometimes I would just not take my project seriously. And this probably has happened to you, but when you have these deadlines, you're just like doing whatever, and you're just designing super fast and you don't care, and you're just bringing all the materials and doing whatever. And this is not good, because these projects that you create in school are going to be the projects that you're going to be using for your interior design portfolio, which you will need when you apply for jobs. So this is super important. So if you are a student, make sure that you are taking the time to design spaces that you really like and that really connect with your aesthetic. So put all your effort into your projects and make them as beautiful as you can. So really spend some time and think them through, because these projects are super important. Now, the second thing that I'm doing is that I'm taking my sketching techniques very seriously. I also remember that in the past, I would do sketches, but I would do very rough and I wouldn't spend a lot of time on them. But I found that now that I'm taking them very seriously, the other day actually I was showing my teacher on my clothing store project, we have like some feedback sessions, and one of my teachers, she saw my sketches and she was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I think that if your sketches are good, if they have like good proportions and they are very well curated, this can make you have better grades, because unfortunately not a lot of designers take their sketching techniques very seriously. So whenever your teacher or anyone sees a drawing, a perspective drawing that is mind-boggling, it's going to be very good for you. So I definitely recommend that you learn about perspective drawing and that you take it seriously as well. Now, another thing that I'm doing is that I'm taking time off, and this is actually super hard for me to do, because I've always been the type of person that likes to get straight A's. But I think that also taking time off is very important for your mental health and for your well-being. With YouTube and school, and it's just so hard for me, but I'm trying so bad to take some time off. I try to exercise every day for like half an hour, because I don't have time for more time, and I also play the piano, so I try to practice sometimes. It kind of calms me down, and brings me back to my center. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it is important that you take time off, because otherwise you're gonna burn out, and you don't want to do that. And you also want to get some good sleep. So I try to get from 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. So that is also important. Okay, so the last thing that I do is that I try to spend a lot of time working with AutoCAD. I didn't work with AutoCAD for a very long time because I was working with Revit. But I remember on my first day of school, in my AutoCAD class, that was like 3 weeks ago, I had forgotten how to use AutoCAD, and it was so shocking for me because I thought I would never forget it, but we were just doing stuff and I was getting so behind in class because I didn't know how to use stuff. I forgot the shortcuts and the commands and the interface. It was pretty crazy that I forgot, like, oh my God. So what I would recommend is that whatever software you use, either that's AutoCAD or Sketchup, Revit, Vectorworks, Rhino, I don't know, there's like a bunch of different programs, but try to practice a lot, like every single day. The faster you get, the better it'll, not only for school, but this also applies in the industry. You have to be very fast with your programs because there's no time for anything. Like, there are deadlines in school and even in the real world. Try to be proficient, because we all know that troubleshooting with any of these programs can take a really long time. While you're in school and probably you have a little bit more time than if you were working, try to become better and better and better. And this is definitely gonna help you with your career. Okay guys, so last thing I want to talk about is my school supplies. A lot of you guys have been asking what supplies I am required to buy for interior design school, and it is different for different universities, but for BCIT specifically, the first and second semesters we were required to buy a lot of supplies and drafting equipment. But for the third semester, we are not required to buy anything other than a very good computer that can run like all the softwares that we are using, including like rendering and like Photoshop and SketchUp, Revit, AutoCAD. So that's one. And another thing is books. Now the books are not mandatory, they are recommended. I still want to get some hard copies, but we actually have access to a virtual interior design library. And this is, I think it's not only from BCIT, I think it's like a international website. I'm not sure, but it is called Fairchild Books. And with my student ID and my student email, I have free access to that virtual library, and there are a bunch of books on that website, and they are all free. So I don't know, I'm gonna look more into that. I'm not sure if you can have access if you are not an interior design student or if you are from a different university. I don't know if all universities have access to this, but they just gave us access, so I think it is pretty cool. I'm still gonna buy some books, and I want to make a video about the books that I recommend you buy for interior design. Stay tuned, I don't know, like I want to share so many things with you, so subscribe if you haven't already, because there is so much content. I'm very excited. So guys, that is it for today's video. I hope that you learned anything today. I just wanted to chat with you and tell you and share with you my experience, how it has been like. I also want to do like a day in the life video of an interior design student. I don't know, I want to do so many things, but I'm going crazy right now. Like, I don't know how I'm holding it all together. Anyway guys, I will see you next week. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and yeah, bye-bye.